morning, global crypto enthusiasts. This is 88 Fantastic coming to you Monday, and it is actually June the 3rd this time. We had done a video like literally 10, 11 hours ago, right before midnight, and our articles were all for June the 3rd. And anyways, if you're watching this one before you watched last night's video, you got to go back because we had talked about the May 30th dump, and we were still expecting one more nasty dump before June the 5th. And of course, 10 minutes after we did the video, we went from the 277 billion mark back down to 266, I do believe. 267-ish, 267, like 10 billion, and then two massive cracks that happened last night. So let's have a quick look at the market, because the market's had a nice recovery this morning. Even though you're still seeing blood red, we were actually sitting at the 266 mark about an hour ago. Bitcoin was fluttering at about 84.25, 84.30 or so. And what we wanted to talk about today is these articles and what's happening. And for those of you that are new to the space, I mean, like I've always I tell everybody, start at the most recent video and work your way backwards when you're watching a YouTube guy, or when you're gonna follow somebody on any social media, to gauge the response and what you should expect from the person you're listening to or following to, right? And if you watch my videos and work your way backwards, we've been calling the trend of the market. And again, I was off on the price of Bitcoin, but I've been 100% spot on the market total since the day I've done YouTube. I've been wrong once in my life since 2017, and that was October of 2018 with the CME opening of crypto, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit too. So we'll look at everything's red. Like, I mean, when you lose $10 billion in about 5 hours, everything's going to be red. So what we were talking about in previous videos is we've been fully expecting this for literally the last 8 weeks now, because that's what I call everything 6 to 8 weeks out. I'm not one of those, oh, hey, this could happen tomorrow or this could happen later today. I don't like doing that stuff. I like to predict it, and then we come out and talk about it every day. That's what we've been doing. So there is virtually not much happening because everyone is just literally still recovering from everything that's been going on here. So pretty much red across the board when we lose that amount that quick. And as you can see here, this is our 7-day chart, and this was us at the video last night. We were at around the 277 mark, somewhere in there. And then we just dumped hard. Okay, so what we've been talking about are these lines of support, and we're going to crack back out here to our 3-month mark. Because when I wake up and I see Bitcoin drop $300 last night, and we've seen it happen when we're at the 268 mark, it's not a surprise because we've called it so far in advance that it's expected, and we're just waiting for that time to come. And when I'm calling it 6 to 8 weeks out, and it's happening literally, like we said, end of May, 1 week after May long weekend, which ended at the 29th, the 30th, it dumped. So get ready for another one before June the 5th. June the 3rd, it dumped. It's not hard to do, and we're calling it 6 to 8 weeks out. So, like I've said for this summer, the news has never been better. But you know what? The news right now is still just as good as the news was last year. So let's go back 1 year from now. And I'm sorry I'm talking now. I'm just going to keep the charts. Let's go to, we'll go to our 1 year chart here. No, I just lost my damn train of thought. But anyways, the news was good as well as last year. And what we saw was our massive sell-off last year. I mean, it shows 352 there, but in May we were sitting at 475 last year. And what you heard coming into the end of May after consensus and going into June was the two words, death cross. Ooh, death cross. And Bitcoin's going to drop, and it's going to drop to 2250, and it's going to drop down to 1350, and it's going to drop down to 750. You know what? Fuck off. And go back and listen. And every one of you guys that's listening to this, you've had a chart guy or you're a chart guy. And this time last summer, every one of you motherfuckers was saying 2250, 750 Bitcoin. This guy right here came out and said, 3rd week of July, Bitcoin was going to hit 9 grand. Fuck you and your death cross. Bitcoin is going to hit 9 grand 3rd week of July. And you know what? It crawled all the way up to 8,800 and then fucking dumped. It spilt its fucking guts all over the place. But that just shows you how I've been able to call it against the rest of these guys. And where I was personally wrong was in October of 2018 with the news of the CME and with all of the extra trading. That was literally the one time I was wrong. So I had to sit back and re-gauge everything and look at everything. And since then, that was still my only mistake in actually calling this market. So we're still calling the same thing for June and July, literally 6 to 7 weeks of sideways down. So now what I'm thinking we're going to start seeing here, and we've talked about getting stronger lines of support, is when we're going back from 267 up to 275, 280. Hopefully, the next time we dump, we're not going to go. We'll come back down to whatchamacallit, where are we here? 268. But at some point where we were at 257, I do believe the other week, that's not even going to be our support line. We're going to go below that too in the next 6 to 8 weeks. So where it stops is who knows. We sat with a 166 to 168 line of support there for the longest time, is what we called, and we didn't bounce below that. So I don't want to say that's going to be our low point, because I still think we'll be above that, but we should still probably hover in the oh my God, where are we going to finish? I don't know. I don't think we're going to go below the 200 mark, but it could be one of those ugly summers when you see so many good things. Like I said, we talked the other day about the EOS, and it's amazing news, and with the news that Chainlink's had. And normally, like you seen with Tron, when a tweet can pump his product up and they don't improve anything, and then you can see something as good as EOS's news was and as good as Chainlink's news was. Where's good old Chainlink here, still sliding? And they're not getting any love. And again, for me, I've always said, I still think it's because the true veterans of the space know the quality of the products right now, and they know eventually that those two products are really going to fucking skyrocket at some point. So why not suppress the price and build and keep building their stacks and buying in at a cheaper price? When I'm a guy that has said I still think Chainlink's going to finish in the top 15, and I do believe by the time we get our absolute mad rush later this fall, I still think EOS is going to come back into that 3 spot. So it'd be nice to see Litecoin get back up there, but they've had their love. That's it. They might move back and forth with Bitcoin Cash, but EOS right now, the community is still gigantic and really strong. I still think I see them pushing up even past Ripple at some point, and I still think Chainlink is going to get back into that top 15 spot as well. So we got 2 articles to show you guys here from this morning, and we are over at thedailyhodl.com. Bitcoin poised to dump on crypto suckers, says veteran stockbroker. Plus a couple of other goofy articles here, but anyways, this is from fucking Peter Schiff, and again, it's funny because he is on the side of Bitcoin. Like, it's not like he hates Bitcoin. He just wants you to buy his gold first, and then if he has some pocket change left, spend it on Bitcoin, right? But in his article, some of his stuff is actually pretty decent, and some of it is just right out to lunch. So in the first part here, it's like he says, the air is already coming out of the bubble, right? Question mark. The peak of the market was $20,000, and so that was a blow-off speculative mania when they launched the Bitcoin futures and everything rose. So now we're in a bear market, and in a bear market, you always have rallies. That's what bear markets do. They try to sucker in the bulls, and you have these false rallies, and that's what we're having right now. So that's where I agree with him. I've said that the whole year. So I started doing YouTube in January for this specific purpose, because I got tired of watching the same old stale shit from the same old fucking stale people on YouTube. Because what is the blockchain, and what are we trying to do? We're trying to adapt, and we're trying to scale. And we haven't seen that from any of the YouTube people anywhere. That's why I keep coming and telling you guys, ask questions. I'm just popping up shit that I think you're going to find interesting. I want to study the numbers. I watch everything. Trend specialist. And like I said, it wasn't that hard to call all of April and May when everyone's calling for a sub 4,000, 3,000. The magic number happened to be 2250. And I keep saying those numbers because that's what every one of you chart guys said. Every one of you in March and April before the money come in. But my chart says it's going to be 2250. And then we saw money. And then what did you guys say? My chart says we're in an uptrend. Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Look at the overall right here. The overall, not the individual. Plain and simple. That's how a guy who taught himself this space can come out and do this. Whereas all of these guys that got 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 subs, and they've never been right. It's so stupid. But anyways, this is a really good article, and like I agree with a lot of what he actually has to say for a change, and it's because, like I said, it's still seasonal buy-in. We are still in a very, very small market where a couple of dollars in some projects can really make things look really, really off, right? So you just got to be really safe, be willing to come and spend a little bit of time in here. And there was one other article on here I just wanted to smash real quick. Where are we? This one here. Litecoin. In an interview with Vanity Fair, actor Anthony Mackie, who will assume the role of Captain America in future Marvel movies, says he checks his Litecoin app every day. Quote, I don't trust Bitcoin. Litecoin forever. Well, fucking twat waffle. There wouldn't be a fucking Litecoin without the original Bitcoin. So, fuck. Stick to getting paid for your fucking movies and stop talking about crypto. Fucking stupid comment. Stupid comment. Here it was here. Bitcoin price analysis. Doji death candle appears, but is the rally over? So we'll pop that open for you guys to come have a peek over, and that's over at thebitcoinist.com. Yoy. Anyways, I've gone through this. You guys can come and look at it yourself. You know how I feel about when people put this stuff out. Again, I still think we're gonna go. We're gonna see that little bit of love, but every time we dump now, we're probably gonna dump a little bit closer to that bottom level of support. Maybe 2 or 3 goes from now, we might dump below that line of support. So what I mean is, we'll keep going back up to a point, 275, 277, 278. But when they come back in and now they're going to start taking their profits out now that we're in June, are we going to go back down to 260 the first time, or is it going to be 258? And then the next line of support will be at 254, at 256, after another 270. And that's what I expect to see for the next 6 to 8 weeks. It's us getting up to that 275, 277. A day or two later, we're going to go back down to 260, back up to 270, back to 255. And it's going to be the opposite trend, T-R-E-N-D, of what we saw in April, May. And we're going to see a little bit of that pump, but the slide back should be a little bit more, it'll crush a little bit more than it's going to help. So we'll do one quick refresh, and then we're going to get out of here for you guys. Again, we just wanted to come out and, got to hang in there. Like, again, I'm a long-term investor, so this is fully expected. Look at that. Bitcoin's almost back to 8,500 already. So that's what we talked about. Sideways up, and then let's see where the next smash goes. Are we going to finish below that? One last looky here. Like you can see, right? So, little bit of profit, little build. Little bit of profit, little bit of build. Now, that's where we got it. See? Build. Take it out. Looks really good. Now June comes. Now this might completely flip for the next 6 to 7 weeks. Like I said, you got to hang in there. Like I said, everything that we've been building for the summer of 2020 is going to start all meshing together soon as summer is just about over. Again, you guys got to remember, it's just like, I know the market don't close, but it's summer. And every market dumps in the summer right now. And unless that change, I don't see anything changing that right now until next summer. And I still think next summer will be the first time that we buck the financial trend of dumping by May and reloading by September type of thing, right? That's what I fully expect to see. So hopefully everybody's doing well. Everybody that's been watching, again, we've been fully expecting this. Like I said, we're even when we dump, don't feel the anxiety of it, because all of that good news. With Facebook doing their thing later this fall, with EOS and putting out finally some Twitter competition and giving that a few more weeks, with everything else, with the Ethereum hard fork coming up, what else we got with Chainlink on Ethereum and the whole bit. So the news is awesome. Again, don't be disappointed when we start to go backwards a little bit here for the next 6 to 8 weeks. It's something that we fully expect, and just buckle up and buy the dips, right? Like me, dollar cost. They call it buy the dips. I dollar cost average it, and I haven't bought myself since early April. So I've been waiting, literally since early bloody April, to buy back in again. So I've had to wait almost 2 months. So I'm planning on getting. My guess is the lowest point in the market was probably going to be late second week, early third week of June, and that's probably when I'm going to jump back in again. And try and load up on some more cheap crypto while we still can, because, it ain't going to be cheap much longer, people. So hang in there, and that's all I got for you guys. This is 88, fantastic, showing you how to take a bite out of the cryptocurrency market. Take care, y'all.